today we are going to work on, we are going to discuss project related interview question. Okay, I have collected this 9 question, and yeah, once other people will give their input, we will keep collecting. So we will have 10 to 15 question maximum, which you will get related to your project, and that will be 30 to 40% of your interview. Okay. So whenever you will start the interview, so first it will go to your introduction, and then it will go to your project, what recent project you have worked, then what challenge you faced. Then next follow-up question or counter question will be what was your team size, what project development life cycle you followed, what was your role and responsibility, how many API you developed, what was source and target system, what source control manager you used, CM tool you used, and then what kind of deployment model. So this will be again based on what deployment model and mule runtime you are using. Apart of that, there will be few very basic question, but many people are doing their mistake. Okay. That will be again initial question only when they will ask about your introduction and all. When they will ask about introduction project and all, at that time only they will ask what studio version you are using and which mule runtime version you are using. Okay, so this will be again initial question only, like initial 30% question, and many people are doing mistake here. They don't know proper mule studio version and runtime version. Okay, in recent interview also I have seen one person, he was saying he is using mule 4.4 from last 5 years. Okay, so that proves that person don't know MuleSoft. Since 4.4 came recently, I think 5-6 months back, and he mentioned he is using from last 5 years. So by this silly question and all, we this interviewer can easily identify you don't have that much experience. And many times, even if you have experience and you are not giving proper answer, then that will create negative impression. So that kind of things you should be handy. Okay. Anyone else have any other question what you have faced related to project and counter question of the project? If you have anything you can put so we can discuss those questions also. Anyone has any question related to initial discussion and related to project? Since many people are struggling on project part, so this particular session is dedicated for that particular discussion.
Sir, oh, sir, I have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are the deployment tools you have used? Like, what are the Cloud Hub deployments? How many deployments you've used in your project?
Deployment question wise, it's not clear. So
yeah, I forgot the question, but it's like deployment related question.
Okay, deployment actually here you can see deployment model. Okay, you are doing manual deployment or you are using CI/CD pipeline. Then which mule runtime you are using? You are using
No, not like that. Cloud Hub deployment or else runtime fabric, something that
yeah,
kind
that is
RTF.
mule runtime. Which mule runtime you are using? You are using RTF model. You are using Cloud Hub. You are using on-premise. Okay, so that is mule
Yeah.
runtime.
Yeah, okay.
Any other question from anyone you have faced during? Yes.
What are the target and source systems you have
Yeah.
used in your project?
Yeah, that I already covered. So what is source and target system? Okay, this one I already covered. Any other question from anyone? Okay.
How
If
to
no,
handle errors in your project?
Okay, so that is technical question. That is not initial question, or that is not project related question. Okay, that is technical question. So that I think we have already discussed in our interview preparation session. Okay, so let's proceed with this question, and if we will get any new question, then we will take that one also. So first one, introduce yourself. So this part also, like, you should be very clear. Whatever you are mentioning, you should give your proper detail, like your total experience, your relevant experience in MuleSoft, what all company you have worked, what all clients you have worked. If you don't want to tell about the client, you can tell them which domain your client is working. It's a retail domain, banking domain, insurance domain. Okay. And then you should be very clear with the projects, how many projects you have worked. Okay. You should not go in very detail, but you should give high level summary. You worked on this project, you developed this many API. This was like a high level of that project. Okay. Detail one you should not go here, since the next question will be about project only. So detail you will give, you will go here. Okay. So in this high level introduce yourself, I have one script. Okay. This will help you, but you can customize this a bit based on your preparation. You should do some kind of modification, but let me take you through this initial introduction. Like introduce, whenever they will ask about introduce yourself, then what all key points you should capture, that I have captured here, and I will provide you this script. So you need to prepare based on that. Definitely go with this, do some optimization, do some modification based on your preparation. So hi, I am this. I have total 7 years of experience in IT industry and 3 year MuleSoft experience. Okay. Currently, I am working as a senior software engineer in whatever company name, in ABC company. Okay. And here you need to give your name. Okay. So during my 7+ year of IT experience, I worked on technology, like whatever technology you have worked. If you worked only on MuleSoft, then you can mention MuleSoft. But if you have worked on other technology also, then you can mention that also. Okay. But you must need to highlight MuleSoft. So first say, I have worked on MuleSoft. Some people worked on TIBCO. Okay. Some people worked on like front-end technology, like Java, or some people worked on testing profile. Okay. During my 7 year of IT experience, I have worked on MuleSoft, TIBCO, Java, and testing profile. Okay, whatever you will have. If you have worked on only on MuleSoft, just mention MuleSoft. Then in MuleSoft, I developed or I created, I developed, let me put like this. I developed many API which help to integrate and data exchange between heterogeneous system. So what all system you have used so far, mention all the system. It's not about your last project only. Mention all the system you have used throughout your career, like Salesforce, file FTP system, database, JMS, queue, and different third-party API. Okay, so here at least you should have idea and you should explain almost like frequently used connector and components. Okay, like Salesforce. Okay, that is frequently used connector, Salesforce, database, JMS, file, FTP. Okay, so these are very frequently used connectors, so you should mention all these connectors. Now coming to your work-wise, like you have worked on different phase of the project development lifecycle, like requirement gathering, functional design documentation, technical design documentation, development, different phase of testing support, bug fix, and production support also. Okay, so you are involved in all the phase. If you are on junior level, like if you have 2-3 years of experience, then you can exclude requirement gathering and functional design and technical design document. Okay, this documentation part you can remove if you have 2-3 years of experience, but if you have 5+, like 4, 5, 6, like whatever, then you can include this also. You are part of requirement gathering also, functional design and technical design documentation part, like you know how to create and you have worked. Okay, you didn't created this, but you worked under your architect, you worked under your project manager, and you helped them to create this document. Okay, I worked with client like banking client, retail, and insurance domain client. Okay, mostly I worked with few projects you can mention, like few key projects: customer onboarding, loyalty module, and payment module. Okay, so let me remove too many projects. So like where mostly I worked in customer onboarding, loyalty module, and payment module projects. Or you can say instead of module, you can say payment related project. Okay. In customer onboarding, I developed API related to customer registration, customer logging, reset credential, forgot credential, verify user, update user. So these are the key functionality you developed. Okay. So what I will suggest here, so you can see here, it's a group of 2 projects. Then again, second one, in loyalty module, I developed API related to transaction, registration, registered loyalty point, claim coupon, redeem coupon, and revoke coupon. Okay, so here I will suggest most of you have took my training. Okay, so you have worked on some project, either customer onboarding, loyalty module, or payment module. So whatever project you mention, you have worked, mention that project only. Since in next, like in their next question will be explain any one project. So you should have good understanding of that project. So here highlight only those projects where you have good understanding and for which project you have worked, that you worked on development and everything, since they will ask many counter question on that project. Sometimes they will ask about functionality wise, what was the functionality of registration API. So here you need to mention like what was the functionality in registration API, like this API will be exposed to front end, and front end will take customer detail. And once they will call this API, we will register customer information in Salesforce, and then we will send one notification to customer. They have successfully registered on our company portal. Okay, so functionality wise, whatever project you have worked, explain only those projects here and be ready with the functionality of each API. Okay, since they may ask as a counter question. Okay, here, if you have worked on Java and all, you can highlight that point, since many MuleSoft project nowadays it's less. Nowadays, MuleSoft has removed the Java dependency, but previously when it was Mule 3 and initial of Mule 4, at that time it was too much, like Mule was too much depend on Java. At that time, if you will highlight, if they are using Mule 3 project, if you will highlight you worked on Java and all, then that will give you one added advantage. But now in Mule 4, it's almost removed the Java dependency. So even if you will not mention you haven't worked on Java, that is fine. Okay. And now very rarely we need Java code in our Mule, and it's almost vanished. Okay. Since from last 2 years, I haven't touched Java code in my project. Okay, 2 years back, I used for only one functionality, and from last 2 years, we don't need any Java code since everything is inbuilt in MuleSoft. Okay, so this will be optional. This you can, if you know Java, you can mention. If you don't know, just remove this line. Okay, so here in this project, we follow API-led architecture, where mostly like and we are using Cloud Hub deployment. Okay, so a part of that, I have basic understanding of on-premise and RTF deployment also, or on-premise and RTF runtime also. Okay, instead of deployment, we can say runtime. So this will be high level introduction about yourself. If anyone has any doubt on this part, let me know. Or if anyone else has your introduction, you can also tell us like how you have scripted your introduction. Not everyone good on this part.
Yeah, Ravi.
Yes.
So taking into consideration our experiences that we have, how many projects we are supposed to do, you know?
How many year of experience you mentioned?
How many projects?
No, for how many year of experience?
Like 5+.
Okay, 5+ in MuleSoft or overall IT experience?
In MuleSoft.
Okay, in MuleSoft 5 year, then minimum 2 project. Okay, and 3 project will be second. Minimum you
Okay.
should have 2 project for 5 year.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
and it's not like means project is very small. So in my current project, I'm working from last 3 year, and same project is going on from last 3 year. Okay, so it's not like every project will be short duration only. Few projects are there which are
Oh,
keep going and
you mean the one right now we are taking the project?
no, that is one module. Okay, that is not, cannot say like that project you worked for 2-3 years. You can say you worked on that. Yeah, you can mention. Then you have to mention you were part of development and now you are working in support of that project. Okay, then that project will go for 2-3 years. But that project will be good if you want to say for 1.5 year. 1.5 year will be more suitable. But if you are using 2 year, 3 year, then you have to mention you were part of development now and you supported that project too.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah, thank you.
So what is on-premises and runtime, RTF runtime? I know Cloud Hub deployment, but I didn't know about this on-premises and runtime.
So that is technical question. So if we will have time, so we will discuss at the end.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't
Okay.
want to deviate from the current topic and current agenda.
Okay. Okay.
Ravi, most of the time when you mention about the project that we cover, um, they ask, what do you do beside the project that you know done? It could be 2 or 3, it doesn't matter. But after that, they usually ask for what do you do beside the project? What we can say.
Sorry, I didn't get this question. Beside the project, what do you mean by beside the project?
Yeah, so during the interview, you can mention the project that you done and like as a day-to-day activity or beside, it could be support, it could be any other thing that you want to, to explain beside the project's development cycle. Like every day, or it could be what a MuleSoft developer do. That's what I
So that is
get.
development only, no? You have to do development, you have to do production support, you have to do defect fix. Okay, you have
Yeah,
to work on the
how do we gonna explain that? It's just we can say like, well, I do a support team, or do we have to explain other,
See,
uh,
that is so each phase come one by one. Okay. First, we start whenever we start any project, we start with requirement gathering. Then we go for development. At the parallel of the development, your defect fix will start. Once you will deliver something, testing team will start the testing and they will start raising the defect. Okay.
yeah, they don't. I understand why. I didn't mean that the development cycle. I'm just saying beside the development cycle that we do every day, what exactly like a MuleSoft developer beside, developing
Certain,
API.
okay. See, we are IT people, okay, and it's not like we are doing some kind of activity or all. So simply you can say means I'm not sure like very rarely you will get this kind of question and where you
I
got
got
it.
this question. That's why I asked you.
Yeah,
She asked,
maybe yeah.
"What do
So
you
this
do
kind of
besides
question
project?"
doesn't okay. So this kind of question doesn't makes any meaning. Okay. So maybe you have seen one time, very rarely you will get. But yeah, you can tell them you are involved in some other activity also in your project. Sometime it's Fun Friday is there, so you are involved in that team to arrange event and all, like Fun Friday activity and all. So this kind of question like useless, there is no meaning. So you are developer, you are in project, so you have to do project work. What you are doing a part of that, I'm not sure like means generally developer used to get some time to. You can mention few things like you are preparing for certification, you are part of this fun activity team. Okay, you are involved like whenever you have free time, you used to go through some blogs, you used to write blog, you used to do some technical study, you do some kind of certification preparation and all. Okay, but for me, like if they are asking this kind of questions, they are just doing time pass of candidate and themselves also.
If I don't mistaken, I can directly ask you the question. So she asked me what exactly you do when you start your day when you got in the office. That's what she said. Like I start answering about,
Okay,
well, I see
okay,
my
okay.
email and start like that. But it's a detailed question, not like a funny or a fun question that I can mention. Well, it's a funny Friday or stuff like that. She wanted more.
Okay, so now I got your question. So previously you maybe you asked a wrong question. So you need like
Yeah, I
maybe if
remember it like I remember it like now word by word. It's not like I didn't mention it. Like
so
I'm
how
sorry.
you like yeah means how you start your day and what you do full day of your working time. Okay, if they are like how you do and what you do full
Yes,
day of
that's
your working hours. Okay, so you can mention our day start with our Scrum call. Okay, we used to have stand-up meeting. Okay, for 15 minutes, where everyone give status of their work to our Scrum Master. Okay, and then everyone based on our task, whatever task is assigned to us on Jira Story, we start working on our task and daily basis like we used to have everyone go on mute. Everyone go on mute, please. Okay, let me answer it again. So whenever we start working, on maybe 9 or 9:30, we used to have Scrum call. Okay, where like we used to have daily stand-up call for 15 minutes. So every developer give the status of their work to Scrum Master. And then we start working on our development activity, whatever we have task on our Jira story. Based on the task, we start our work. And then we used to have some meetings with different stakeholders. Sometime we connect for requirement gathering. Sometime we connect for different alignment and all. And then daily we used to have like a 15-minute call with testing team also, where we used to get all the detail about the defects and all, and we used to update progress of each defect. Okay, and then yeah, whenever I used to get some free time, I do some technical study and I prepare for certification exam. Currently I am preparing for certification exam, so in this way you can answer. This might be a valid question. Again, very rarely you will get, but yeah, they may ask how you do your work in a whole day, what all activity you do. Is it clear now?
I guess that's what she wanna. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, thank you. I guess that's what she want. If we have like a written thing we can do, that would be good. But I got your answer and thank you.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So now what recent project you have worked? So as I mentioned, like second question, they will come on this, what recent project you have worked. So here I have script for two project, what I will share. So one is customer onboarding. Many people, they have worked on this project. And another one I will take payment module. Let me take this project also. So you don't need to answer all three projects. You need to answer only one project for which you have worked and you have confidence. Okay, don't go with all project. So many people you have worked on customer onboarding. So you can explain like that. Recently, I worked on customer onboarding. Okay. Customer onboarding project, where I developed API related to customer registration, customer logging, reset credential, verify user and delete account, like etc. Customer registration API help to create or register new customer. Customer login API helps to log in customer on company portal. Like that, we have reset credential API and forgot credential API, which help customer to reset or create new credential. Okay. Then verify user API, verify customer through OTP and delete user API, delete register customer account from the company database. Okay. Then second phase of the project, like project explanation. As a source and target system, we use Salesforce CRM system, database system, JMS, front end. Front end is like mobile or web application.
Ravi, is there any chance?
Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt you. Is there any chance to ask a particular mobile application name like that?
No. They will not ask. They should not ask, and I don't think they will ask.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
As a source and target, everyone go on mute. As a source and target system, we use Salesforce CRM, database, JMS, front-end application like mobile and web application, and worked on few third-party API also. Okay. In this project, we followed API-led architecture where we have system layer to connect with external system like Salesforce, database, and third-party application. We have process API where we apply all the business logic, and we have experience API to expose our API to external world like web application and mobile application. Okay, I was involved in different phase of this project like requirement gathering, development, testing, support, deployment, and production support also. Here we follow API development lifecycle starting from creation of RAML on Design Center, publish on Exchange, then BA feedback, then we do development, then we do unit testing, we apply all the security policy and deployment and defect support also. As a center repository, we use Git repository, and for deployment, we use Jenkins CI/CD pipeline. Okay. On security part, we used JWT token, client ID enforcement, rate limiting policy, HTTP caching, and as a Mule runtime, we are using Cloud Hub deployment. We are using cloud of deployment model, and we are using Jenkins CI/CD pipeline. Okay, now they may ask just after this, they will ask multiple counter question. So first counter question might be like who created this CI/CD pipeline, Jenkins CI/CD pipeline. You know Jenkins CI/CD script. So you need to mention, I know basic of Jenkins CI/CD script, but we have DevOps team. So they used to take care of this Jenkins pipeline and all. Okay. Don't take this on your name. Otherwise they will ask many things. Okay. What is this script? If that person know. Okay. If he's from very like senior experience, like 20, like 30 year of experience, then those kind of people know everything little bit. Okay. They don't know many things, but they know key things of each, like either Salesforce or Jenkins or whatever. Okay. They may ask you some.
You say who are these guys?
Whoever will take your interview. If that person having 20, 30 year of experience.
I mean,
then,
who we should say worked on a Jenkins CI/CD pipeline? You say the DevOps team?
Yeah, DevOps team. Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. So in your project, the DevOps team is there. So that DevOps team used to take care of all this CI/CD pipeline and all. Okay. But you know basic of Jenkins CI/CD script, and you know how to go to their portal and how to run the script. Okay. So you need to mention, I do everything, like I do create a repository, I do code checking, and I used to run this script, but script is created by DevOps team and they used to create and maintain this script. Okay. And I also know basic, but I don't have much knowledge. Okay. Don't take CI/CD thing on your name. Otherwise, if they will start asking in deep dive question, then you may face problem. If you know, then yeah, you can mention I know, but I don't think like generally MuleSoft developer used to know about the Jenkins CI/CD script and all. They know basic, so you should know mention I know basic. I know how to go on portal and how to run the pipeline and all. That thing I know, but I don't know like advanced level of this script and all. I know only basic. Okay, and we have DevOps team. They used to take care of all these things. Okay, so this is about the customer onboarding, and don't, as I mentioned, don't explain all three projects, only explain one project. Okay. If they will ask, okay, tell me what other project you work, then you can explain. So in payment module, like here, like I worked on payment module project where I developed API related to record payment, retrieve payment, order status, update payment, exchange rate API and all. Okay, functionality wise, no need to mention at this moment. If they will ask as a counter question, what record payment do? So you need to mention, okay, whenever payment process will start, we call this API and record payment will create one payment record in the company database, as well as it will call the payment gateway checkout API to initiate the transaction. Okay, that definitely they will ask in counter question. Then you need to mention at this moment, just you need to mention I worked on API like record payment, retrieve payment, update payment, order status, then exchange rate API kind of. Okay. Then here I worked on one scheduler API also, which sync missing payment status
Ravi,
from
sorry
company.
to interrupt.
Yes.
Um, Ravi, if they ask which project you want, if you say the payment transaction, so how many APIs you work? So the answer will be I work from the system, process, and experience layer. Do we need to mention all the three layers, like 5 APIs I work, or any
No, see,
particular
whenever
like?
they will ask for one project, how many API you worked, just mention like almost 20 to around 20 plus API I worked.
Oh,
Okay. So you need to
so
highlight only
shall
few
we
API.
mention?
Yeah. They will not ask all the 20 API. They will not ask functionality of all the 20 API. They will ask, okay, explain any one, two API. So you can take any one API, record payment or retrieve payment.
Okay.
It-
So if they ask about are you involved from start to end, what will be our response? Do we need to mention from start to end?
Yeah, you should mention. Yes, you should mention.
Okay, and if they ask about what your team size worked on this project.
Okay, all those things we will come. Okay, that we have in. I'm not sure when you joined, so we have all those questions here. So let's go one by one. Okay, don't start all the questions in one. So at this moment we are discussing about project. So if you have any doubt on this line, what we have discussed, yeah, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll cover all those questions here. Okay, fine. So here also, like after this description, what all API you developed. Okay, then next things it will be similar, like what is source system, what is target system, what was the process of development. Okay, and then what all repository you used, what all deployment model you used, what runtime you used, and then what all security policy you used. All those things you need to mention. Okay, similar to this one. Initially, you need to start with the functionality, what all functionality you were involved. Okay, what project you worked, and then slowly you will go in this part. So this is the same pattern for this project also. This is nothing but investment banking project. Okay. So this one I will give you. Many people worked on this investment banking, so you need to use this script. So here also pattern is same. Initially we discuss about the functionality and then source and target system. Okay. So just
Ravi, are you sharing screen?
yes.
I'm unable to see.
Sorry.
I'm unable to see the questions. What sharing?
Then try to rejoin. Other people can see, correct?
Yeah, Ravi, it's
Yes, we
visible.
can.
Yes.
So yeah, you need to rejoin. If you are unable to see, you please rejoin. Okay, fine. So now coming to third question, once you will just explain your project, what challenge you faced in this project. Okay, so this will be again, like you need to answer it very cleverly. I have one script I will give you, but at the same time, if you have any better script, you can take. Okay, so this is just whatever script I'm giving, just reference purpose. You need to modify and you need to update a few more things. So whenever they are asking about challenge and problem you faced, you should never say something where you fail to do any work. Okay, that will create your negative impression. So whatever, like whenever they will ask you what challenge you faced, you should say something where you are victim, you are not culprit. Okay, you are victim of that thing and you resolve that process. You resolve that issue by your skill set. Okay, if you will say you created something and that impacted everyone, then you are a culprit and that will create negative impression. Okay, so this is very tricky question whenever they are asking about what challenge and what problem you faced. So this question must be scripted. Okay, you cannot think at very random. Okay, so for everyone, like for me also, whenever I go for interview, I used to prepare one scenario where I face the problem and I used to like mention that one. Okay, and as I mentioned, this is very key point here. So you should say something where you are victim. This problem is created by someone else. It might be a technology gap. It might be some other gaps, but you face that problem and you resolve that problem. Okay. You should not never mention you did some mistake while deploying on production and it went like production server went down and then you resolve the issue. So in that case, you are you are culprit, you did something wrong. Okay, that that might impact coming business, like their business also. So they will not consider. So here, just try to understand how I answer this. I worked on many project and API. Definitely few places I found something new and challenging. In recent case, I worked on API where we are doing data sync from Anaplan to Azure Blob Storage. So these are two system, external system. Anaplan is also one system, Azure Blob Storage is another system. So what we were doing, we were moving data from Anaplan to Azure Blob Storage. Okay, to connect with Azure Blob Storage, we used their connector. We used Azure Blob Storage connector. Okay, and this connector is developed by third party. This is not developed by MuleSoft. So there are many MuleSoft connectors are there, which is not developed by MuleSoft. Third party has developed that connector and they published on Exchange. And if you want, like whenever they publish on Exchange, to make it available for everyone, MuleSoft do some review process. Okay, it's not like MuleSoft will allow all the connector. So they do review process, and if it will match all the parameter of MuleSoft, then only they allow it to publish on the Exchange portal. Okay, so this connector is created by some other third party. So we use their connector. It worked perfectly on lower environment. Okay, and we did some kind of testing like load test, performance test, everything we did. And luckily it passed everything in lower environment, but when it moved on production and continuously it's getting heavy load, okay, which is which was expected from our side, that load will come. So what happened, in every 6 hours, it start making our server unresponsive. Okay, for 6 hours, our server was taking request, but after 6 hours, it was not restarting the server, but server was unable to take new request. Okay, it might be it might accumulate all the threads and it will not allow to take new request, whatever reason was there. So that problem we are start getting. Okay, so what we did, like in that case, like every 6 hours we need to restart the server, and that is very like hectic work, and like S&M team need to do this thing on regular basis every 6 hours. Okay, so this was like a pain area for our project. So when you got this, when you came to know about this particular issue, you start exploring the internet. At the same time, you connected with MuleSoft support team also, and they denied by saying they will not able to support on this since this is developed by third party. If you need any kind of fix or support, you need to connect with third party. And if you go to third party, if any fix required or any support required, then they may charge some amount to you. Okay. So I connected support team, but they didn't help, and they given like detail of the third party to connect with them. At the same time, I was exploring on internet and I found we have some alternative way to connect with Azure Blob Storage. So Azure Blob Storage provide their REST API also. So instead of using this Azure Blob Storage, we use their REST API. To connect with their REST API, we need to create the SaaS token, which I created using Java. Okay, I created SaaS token. I connected with Azure using their REST API. Okay, and this solution worked perfectly and it resolved the server unresponsive issue. And it's working very fine in production also. Okay, so here you use third-party connector, which was not very stable. Okay, that connector is good for lower load, but whenever you will give high load, then that connector is not supporting that kind of load, and it's accumulating all the threads and it's not releasing the thread, and your server will be unresponsive. So here that connector was there, so definitely I will use that connector, but that connector had some issue. That connector was not very much stable. So you are a victim here. You used MuleSoft approved connector, but that connector is not very much stable. But you used your skill and you found some alternative way and you resolve the issue. Okay, so this kind of example you need to prepare. Okay, don't rely on this example only. Whatever situation scenario you have, based on that you can create one this challenging question. Let me know if anyone has any doubt. Anyone has any doubt?
I have a question right here, Ravi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like before it's goes to the production, I think it should be tested in a lower environment, like in the perf or some
Yeah,
environment.
we do performance testing. Yes.
Yeah, so in that case, like we can capture. I mean, we can like capture the problems. Yeah. The
Generally we
performance.
do. Generally we do, but sometimes it happens. You haven't given proper load. Generally, this should be done by testing team. They do performance testing, load testing, but whatever load they have given, it worked on that load. But later on, based on the business need, there is we need a bit more load. Okay, but that connector is not compatible with that load. Okay, initially, let's say you need you need to process 100 transaction in 5 minute, and each transaction will contain 5 MB of data. Okay, now your business need change. You need 200 transactions. So you increase the server, you scale the server, but still that connector is not supporting that scale.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Next, what is your team size? So whenever you are mentioning team size, it's not only MuleSoft team, it's including all the team members. So you should mention generally like in any project, we used to have 20 plus team members. So you can mention we have 20 plus team member. We have 20 plus team member and we have different team like we have Salesforce team, we have database team, we have front end team, we have DevOps team. In our API team, we have 5 team member and everyone working as an individual developer. Okay, and I am also individual developer here. And we have one Scrum Master, he used to assign task and all. Okay, the next question is what project development lifecycle you follow in your last project. So here you can mention. Nowadays, most of the projects are using agile methodology, so you should also mention we are following agile project development lifecycle. Okay, we used to have Scrum call, we used to have daily stand-up call, we used to have grooming calls. Yeah, grooming call. We used to have you need to go with all the calls. What generally Scrum team do. Daily stand-up is mandatory. It will happen every day. Weekly, you will have uh, sprint planning. If it is one weekly sprint, then it will be weekly sprint planning. If it is 2 week, then twice in a week. Sorry, once in a 2 week, you will have this Scrum planning call. Then we used to have like few calls we used to have, so you need to go through that. Okay, so we follow this agile methodology. We used to have this kind of meetings. Okay, and we have Scrum Master from where I used to give task, and we are using Jira ticketing tool to manage this Scrum project, to manage this agile project. Okay, so they may ask like what is the sprint size and all. what is sprint size. So you can mention anything, 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, anything is fine. Okay. Different project has different sprint size. Okay. Then what was your role and responsibility? So your role and responsibility, you can like even you will answer. Sometimes they will ask separately. So you need to mention I'm working as an individual. So this individual developer is one of the safest role. Okay. So if you will say you are developer, then they will think, okay, you will not able to handle the team. If you will say you are team lead and you are doing only management, they will think you are not able to do development. Okay. So if you have like till 7-8 year, and in US, if you even if you have 10-12 year, in India, like till 7-8 year, you can say individual developer. In US, till 12-13 year also, you can say this individual developer. Okay, I have seen many people in US having 15-14 year of experience and they are working as a developer. But in India, we have bit different pattern. After 7-8 year, you will get lead role and you mostly like 50% time you have to manage the team and 50% time you will be involved in some other activity. Okay, so based on your experience, you need to mention, but yeah, till 5-6 year in like you can mention you are working on this individual developer role and you are involved in everything. You involved in requirement gathering also, development also, defect support also, and production support also. You are doing everything. Okay. Then how many API you developed? So this part, like again, in my last two project, in my last 2 year, you should not mention entire journey. You should mention in my last 2 year, I developed 20 plus API. Okay. And I worked on the like support also for those API. Like we used to have defect like SIT defect, UAT defect. So I supported all those, and I was part of warranty support also. Like when your project go lives, 2-3 months warranty supports come. So I was part of that also and help to resolve all the production issue also. Then source system, target system, many times they will ask separately. So you should be clear with the what all source and target. So you should mention as a source and target. If you want, you can make it separate, what is source and what is target, but I will suggest to go with source and target together. Okay, if they will explicitly ask what is source system, then you should go with, okay, like we had source system like web application and mobile application. Sometime source can be Salesforce also, database also. It's not like Salesforce and database will be only target. Sometime it will be source also. Okay. So if they will ask source and target, you should mention as a source and target. We had like a web application, mobile application, some other concierge app. Then we have Salesforce, database, JMS, and all. Okay, so what SCM you have worked? So source control manager. So either you should mention Git, Bitbucket, or Azure repository. Okay, you should mention any one source control manager tool, either Git, Bitbucket, or Azure repository. Okay, what deployment model and mule runtime you are using in your last, like you used in your last project? So deployment model, you can say we are using CI/CD pipeline using Jenkins. Okay. And like I know basic, but yeah, we have DevOps team. They used to create this pipeline script and all. And as a mule runtime, we are using either Cloud Hub or on-premise, whatever you have worked, you can mention. Anyone has any doubt on this? Okay, if no, then what studio version and mule runtime version you are using? So this part you should be clear. Okay. So studio version, you can say latest also, but always try to avoid latest one. Otherwise, they definitely we used to have some kind of bug or something. And generally, when we are working, like we don't use latest one. It should be one version older. So you can mention I'm working on 7.13 or 7.14. Don't use 7.15. Same for Mule runtime also. So you can say I am working on 4.3 or 4.2. Means you can say 4.4, but you have to mention it like previously we were working on 4.3 and now we've moved on 4.4. Since 4.4 came very recently. If you will mention 4.2, 4.3, then it will present like you are working in MuleSoft from a couple of years. Okay. Since in my one of the recent interview, my colleague, like he denied to select that person, okay, by mentioning he don't know proper version also. He, like as I mentioned, he mentioned I'm working on this Mule 4.4 from last 5 years. Okay, so it proves that person don't know about this version and all. Okay, and maybe he's saying lie. He haven't worked on Mule since 7 point like a 4.4 came in last 6 months and he's working from last 4 years. So this is very basic question, but this tells many things about you. So at least stereo version and Mule runtime version should be very clear to you. Okay, fine. So I think these are the questions which are related to project. So your 30% interview question will come from here. Okay, there might be some new question also, but your 30% of your interview will be focused on your introduction and your project and project related experience. If any of you have encountered any other question, yeah, we can discuss next 5 minutes and then we can wrap up this call.
Yeah, Ravi.
Yes.
So how will you answer those questions specifically related with the Mule 3 and Mule 4? When we mentioned the projects what we did, is there any occasions that we can still use Mule 3?
Okay. Yeah, this will be again. So sometime, okay, many project, no, sorry. Sometime few projects are working on Mule 3 also. Okay, if you know that company is working on Mule 3, okay, then like you should be a bit clever. Don't mention you don't know anything about Mule 3. Okay, say them. I have worked on Mule 3 also. I worked on migration project where I understand the Mule 3 code and I retain in Mule 4. Okay, there might be some project which is migration project only. If you will say this kind of thing, then definitely it will give you some added advantage in your profile. If two persons are there, one person know only Mule 4, one person know Mule 4 plus migration, and my project is migration project. No matter second person who know Mule 3 and migration, technically he is less experienced compared to first person. Still, I will select second person since he know pain area of the migration. Okay, he already gone through that particular phase. So definitely his experience, no matter he is less experienced than the first person, but his migration experience will help the project. Okay, so if you know that particular project is migration project or that particular project is Mule 3 project, yeah, just mention. Don't say I know everything about Mule 3. Okay, if you haven't touched the Mule 3 and they will start asking question, then definitely they will catch you. Since Mule 3 is very much different compared to Mule 4. Okay, compared to component wise and many things, many differences are there. Like even variable wise also, Mule 4 we have only one variable, Mule 3 we have three variable. Mule 3 is not mabnized, Mule 4 is mabnized. Mule 3 support immunity recorder, Mule 4 does, sorry, Mule 4 support immunity recorder, Mule 3 don't. In DataView also Mule 3 use only one, DataView version 1, but Mule 4 support 1 and 2 both. Okay, like that we have many difference. Okay. So if you haven't touched Mule 3, don't go with I know Mule 3. Just mention I worked on migration project where I migrated Mule 3 code to Mule 4 code. So I understand, like I used to understand Mule 3 code and used to migrate in Mule 4. Yeah, sometime they may ask if migration project is there, what is a MMA and all, Mule Migration Assistant tool. So you can tell them like, see, Mule Migration Assistant tool is not very successful. Okay. So you can tell them I did the migration from scratch. If you know about the tool, yeah, you can say, oh yeah, we use this tool, but you have to tell the pain area also. That tool is not very much successful and there are lots of problem with that tool. Okay. So many projects prefer to do scratch development instead of using that tool. Okay. So if you are using, I worked on MMA, then you should be ready with the some pain area of that tool, like it will not handle the data weave expression. Okay, after migrating, you need to do lots of manual fix and all. Okay, so instead of doing all this fix and then writing data weave again, so people do prefer to write the code from scratch, understand Mule 3 code and write in Mule 4. So that will save that will be more easy and simplest process. Okay, anything else?
Yeah, sir, I have one question. So, what is the key difference between deployment model and mule runtime, sir?
Okay, Mule runtime like Cloud Hub, on-prems, RTF, hybrid, all these are Mule like runtime. Deployment model using CI/CD pipeline. Okay, either you can use manual
Okay.
deployment, you can use CI/CD pipeline. So these are the deployment model.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hello, Ravi.
Yes.
Yeah, my question is on what is the team size. Uh, for example, uh, I'm working as a SQL developer at a company, and we have uh, we we have a team of like 8 or 9 people and two service developers, two Pega developers, one me as a SQL Server developer, two testers. What is looks like the MuleSoft teams? I mean, do they all happen
Okay,
MuleSoft
generally you
developers
can
only?
mention like, yeah, 3 to 5 will be standard MuleSoft team size. Some
Mhm.
project they have 1, 2 also, some project they have 10 plus also. But 4 to 5 will be standard team size. So you can mention like we have 4, 5 MuleSoft team member,
Mhm.
and we have other team also like Salesforce, database, front
Yeah, I
end.
know. Well, but my question is, are this they happen in the same team, like, or they all one team is MuleSoft developers and other?
Yeah, so see, in
Does
a project we have this many member in different team, and MuleSoft team is your team, like where you have 4, 5 member.
only team MuleSoft developers happens on
Yeah,
one team?
depends, like it's not fixed one,
Mhm.
but in safest side 3, 4 will be good enough. So that will say like you are not individual, like you know how to work with team. And that will again, it will not say, okay, you have very big team where you are limited to particular task. So you have medium sized team only and you have all the exposure.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Ravi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is Mule projects are backward compatible? For instance, a Mule developed with
And
Mule
just give me
4.
1 minute. Just give me 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Ravi, my question is Mule project is backward compatible? A Mule project developed in Mule 4 environment, is that successfully run on Mule 3 environment, or is
No,
only
no, completely.
no?
It's lots of difference are there between Mule 3 and Mule 4.
Okay, so it's forward only.
Yeah.
My
Backward
question
you
is
can do. Okay, backward you can do, but why this question is very weird question. Okay. Why someone will ask you to go with older technology?
I mean this is a confusion, but just to clear it out.
And no one will ask this question. Okay. Technology is growing, so everyone will look forward now. Why people will think about backward?
Okay.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Could you please tell that the eighth question and ninth question once?
Okay. So if you have doubt, then I can say, but yeah, I will not repeat again. So you can go through recording. If you have any doubt in this question, then I can tell you. Since we are left with only 5-6 minutes, so and I have to drop, so you can go through recording, you can understand. But yeah, if you have
Ravi,
anything doubt, you can ask it. Go ahead.
Ravi, I have one question. During the development phase, if our target system is down like 5 hours, how to handle that situation?
Sorry. If our
If our target system is down like 5 hours, how to handle that situation? How to handle that?
see, there are one mechanism is circuit breaker is there. Okay. So you can apply this circuit breaker mechanism if your target is down for longer time. So it will stop taking new request and all. Okay, so for that you can do detailed study. You will get many blocks and all on circuit breaker. Okay, and if it is down for some time, then we used to apply retry mechanism and all. But as you mentioned, it's down for 4-5 hours. Like you have like possibility that your server will be down for 4-5 hours, and it's very frequent one. Then you need to apply circuit breaker mechanism. Okay, and you can do detailed study on multiple blocks you will get for circuit breaker.
Thank you.
Uh, one question here.
Yes, go ahead.
It's not a project question, but maybe next time when you have another class, maybe we can talk about that.
Technical question. Let's discuss in separate class. Let's for dedicate this class for only project related questions.
Okay, then. Okay, thank you.
Ravi, one question like the payment transaction project. If the interviewer asks how many API integration you did, what will be the answer? Do we need to mention three API like system API and process and experience? Is that mean, or do we need to mention any apart from that any other APIs as well?
Sorry, I didn't get. Tell me again.
If the interviewer is looking like how many API integration you want,
How many API? That we
yes,
discussed now,
how
like
many
20
API
plus.
integration you
Yeah,
want?
that we discussed now, 20 plus API.
Okay.
Okay, fine then. So we are good with today. So thanks everyone for joining, and I will upload this video. Maybe 1-2 days it will take. And this particular like question and whatever details are there, I will send through the WhatsApp group.
We will have class later or not today?
Sorry.
You have the regular class session.
Okay, this one is dedicated for project related question discussion. For interview preparation, we have separate class. Okay, so that is like only for registered student, not for everyone.
Hi Ravi, can you please?
Ravi, one last question.
Yes, go ahead.
Ravi, in the interview, the biggest challenge you faced
Voice
while
is not clear.
development and how you solve it.
Your voice is not clear.
Sorry to
If the
interrupt.
interviewer asks what is your biggest challenge you faced during deployment and how you solve it.
During deployment. So I don't
During
think they will
development.
ask about the deployment. They will ask what challenge you have faced in your project. Okay.
Yes.
That part, I have given you one reference. You need to find some similar kind of scenario, or you can use this one also. But yeah, if everyone will use this one, very less chance will be of conflict. But if conflict will happen, you will get cut. Better to create something like that and use your own.
Okay. Thanks.
Hello.
Everyone go on mute. If you are not speaking anything, please be on mute. Yes,
hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Can I go? Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you. So for 4 years experience, I think as per your suggestion, 2 projects are enough.
Yeah. Till 4-5 year, 2 project will be good enough.
Okay. Thank
for
you.
2-3 year, 1 project is okay. 2 project is good. For 4-5 year, 2 project is okay. 3 project is good.
Fine.
So interview preparation, you said you're gonna do the interview preparation like if you are registered, or what does that mean? I didn't get you.
Okay, so we have one one session for interview preparation where we discuss many things. Technical question, scenario based question, project related question, and then data weave question. So all the interview related question discussion and preparation we do.
So do we need to register for that?
Yeah, that one is paid one. So yeah, few people I think in this group also they are part of that session. So yeah, that one is
It's already started. The discussions already started.
Yeah, already started. Yes, we have done some technical question discussion.
Okay. So when is gonna be the next then?
Batch wise, I don't think I will able to create next batch. But if you want, you can join in same batch. You will get missing classes. You will get recording.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Hi Ravi.
Yes, go
I
ahead.
have a question. This might be a common question, not related project.
No, today
Why
we
we
will not
left?
discuss. Today
Why
we
we
will not
left the previous company? This might be common question.
Okay. Yeah, this we can take. Okay, so first
Thank
of all, like here, one of the clever answer will be you are looking for better opportunity. Don't say much thing. Just say one line answer. You are looking for better opportunity. Okay, this will be clever answer. Okay, don't go with this kind of tricky question. Don't try to explain much thing. Okay, if you will say money, that will also have many pros and cons. If you will say your team is not good, that might represent you are not good. You are not compatible with the team. So whatever you will mention, there will be some pros and cons. So make it very simple and very straightforward answer. You are looking for better opportunity. That's it.
Sir, what if we say like our company
Okay.
doesn't have, our previous project is completed, but our company doesn't have Mule domain projects.
Okay, So don't say Mule domain project. Okay, don't represent you are stick to one technology. You should be flexible. You can say, okay, my contract is going to award. Okay, like that in India it's very difficult, but in US it's like if people in US they can use this answer. Okay, my contract is about to end, so I'm looking for other opportunity to continue my work. Okay, but in India, like mostly we do this. We used to have for full-time opportunity only. So you can say like that will be again that will have some. So that means you are not flexible for other technology.
Okay.
So better to go with this answer for India, but yeah, US people can use this.
Okay, then.
Okay, fine then. I think we are good. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Ravi.
Hi,